Right now, 97% of people are sprinting toward the wrong finish line. Here is the part no one tells you. Success is not about running faster. It is not about working longer hours. It is not about finding the perfect morning routine or downloading another productivity app. The difference between where you are and where you want to be has nothing to do with information. You already know what to do. You have read the books. You have watched the videos. You have saved the quotes. And yet, here you are, still stuck, still waiting, still negotiating with the weakest version of yourself every single morning. This is not another motivational speech. This is a blueprint for psychological demolition. In the next 90 minutes, you will learn exactly why you keep breaking promises to yourself and precisely how to stop. But more importantly, you will understand a truth that changes everything. You do not need more motivation. You need a new identity. And that identity cannot be born until the old one dies. Let that land for a moment. The person you want to become already exists inside you, but that version is buried. It is suffocating under every excuse you have made, every alarm you have snoozed, every plan you announced but never executed. Your weaker self is not just holding you back. It is actively killing your potential, one small surrender at a time. Stanford University conducted a 20-year longitudinal study on high performers across industries. The researchers expected to find common traits like intelligence, talent, or access to resources. What they discovered shocked them. The single greatest predictor of long-term success was not IQ. It was not education. It was not even discipline in the traditional sense. It was identity congruence. The people who achieved extraordinary results were those whose daily actions matched their internal self-image. They did not act disciplined because they tried hard. They acted disciplined because they saw themselves as disciplined people. The behavior flowed from the identity, not the other way around. This is where most people get it catastrophically wrong. You have been trying to change your actions while keeping your identity intact. You wake up as the same person who failed yesterday, and then you wonder why today looks identical. You cannot bolt new behaviors onto an old operating system and expect different results. A caterpillar does not become a butterfly by trying harder to crawl. It has to dissolve completely. It has to let go of everything it was before anything new can emerge. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Your current life is not an accident. It is a perfect reflection of who you have been. Every result you have, you earn through repetition. Every habit you carry, you voted for with your daily choices. The body you live in, the bank account you check, the relationships you tolerate, the career you complain about. All of it is evidence. And the evidence does not lie. Average people hear this and feel attacked. They start building defenses. They point to circumstances, to bad luck, to timing, to other people. Elite performers hear this and feel liberated. Because if your current life is the result of your past choices, then your future life can be the result of new ones. You are not a victim of your story. You are the author who forgot you were holding the pen. But authorship requires something most people refuse to give. It requires the death of the character you have been playing. That comfortable identity you have built, the one that lets you off the hook, the one that accepts mediocrity as realistic, the one that calls procrastination a personality trait instead of a choice. That version of you has to go. Not tomorrow, not next Monday. Now, Duke University's neuroscience department published a landmark paper on habit formation in 2023. They found that 43% of daily behaviors are performed automatically, without conscious decision. Your brain runs on autopilot nearly half the time. This means that the person you were yesterday is already making decisions for the person you will be tomorrow. Unless you intervene, unless you consciously disrupt the pattern, unless you kill the default settings before they kill your dreams. Think about what this means. Every time you hit snooze, you are not just delaying your morning by 9 minutes. You are casting a vote for the identity of someone who negotiates with discomfort. Every time you say you will start Monday, you are reinforcing the neural pathway of someone who postpones their own life. Every time you announce your goals to friends and feel that little rush of pride, you are stealing dopamine from future action and spending it on present fantasy. The brain does not distinguish between talking about achievement and actually achieving. A 2019 study from New York University demonstrated that public declaration of intentions creates a premature sense of completion. Your mind registers the social recognition as partial success. So the hunger that should drive execution gets satisfied by mere announcement. You walk away feeling good, having done nothing, and then you wonder why your life never changes. This is why you must learn to win in silence. But we will get there. First, you need to understand something even more fundamental. You have been lied to about motivation. You have been told that successful people wake up every day feeling driven, excited, ready to conquer. That is not how it works. That has never been how it works. Motivation is a visitor. It shows up unannounced, stays briefly, and leaves without warning. If you build your life waiting for motivation, you will build nothing at all. The people who actually transform, who actually become unrecognizable from their former selves, they operate on a different fuel source entirely. They do not ask how they feel. They ask who they are becoming, and then they act accordingly, regardless of emotion. This is identity-based discipline. It is the difference between saying I want to be fit and saying I am someone who trains. Between I am trying to be more productive and I am someone who executes. The first relies on willpower. The second relies on self-concept. And self-concept, once established, defends itself automatically. So here is your first assignment. Not at the end of this book. Right now, I want you to identify one thing you have been avoiding. One small action you know you should take, but keep postponing. It could be a difficult conversation. It could be a workout. It could be organizing that space you have ignored for months. You know exactly what it is. The thought that just appeared in your mind, that is it. You are going to do that thing within 24 hours of finishing this chapter. Not because you feel ready, not because conditions are perfect, but because the person you are becoming does not wait for permission to act. This is how identity shifts. Not through grand declarations, through small defiances, through proving to yourself, in private, that your word means something again. In the next chapter, we will examine the first battle you fight every single day. A battle most people lose before their feet even touch the floor. It is called the Snooze Button Test. And whether you realize it or not, it determines everything that follows. Your weaker self is about to meet its end. Let us begin. Chapter 2, the Snooze Button Test. The first war of your day begins before you open your eyes. Your alarm sounds. In that exact moment, two versions of you wake up simultaneously. The first version remembers the promises made last night, the goals written down, the person you swore you would become. This version wants to rise, to attack the day, to prove that this time is different. The second version whispers something else. Just 9 more minutes. You deserve rest. You will start tomorrow. What difference does one snooze really make? Here is what you need to understand. That 9-minute negotiation is not about sleep. It is a referendum on your identity. And every single morning, you cast a vote. The question is simple. Who wins? The person you want to become, or the person you have always been? Most people lose this battle 365 times a year. Then they wonder why nothing in their life changes. The United States Navy SEALs have a concept they drill into candidates during basic underwater demolition training. They call it winning the morning. The philosophy is brutally simple. If you cannot defeat your own comfort at 5 in the morning, you cannot be trusted to perform under pressure when it actually matters. The snooze button is not a feature. It is a test, and you are either passing or failing it every single day. A 2021 study published in the Journal of Sleep Research examined the psychological effects of fragmented morning sleep. The researchers found something counterintuitive. People who snoozed reported feeling more tired throughout the day than those who slept less, but woke immediately at their alarm. The repeated interruption of sleep cycles created what scientists call sleep inertia, a fog of grogginess that persisted for hours. So the extra rest you think you are getting is actually making you weaker, not stronger. But the physical effects are only part of the story. The real damage is psychological. Every time you hit snooze, you break a promise to yourself. You told yourself you would wake up at 6. The alarm represents that commitment. When you dismiss it and roll over, you send a clear message to your subconscious. Your word does not matter. Your plans are negotiable. Comfort takes priority over commitment. Now multiply that message by weeks, by months, by years. You have trained yourself to believe that your own promises are worthless. And then you sit in frustration wondering why you cannot stick to diets, why you abandon projects, why you start strong and fade fast. The pattern was established at 6 in the morning. Everything else is just a continuation. Elite performers understand this intuitively. They do not see the alarm as an interruption. They see it as an opportunity, the first chance of the day to prove something to themselves. Not to anyone else, to themselves. Because self-trust is the foundation of all discipline. And self-trust is built in private, in the dark, when no one is watching and no one would know if you quit. Average people hit snooze and think they are cheating the system. Elite performers know the only person they are cheating is themselves. Here is what happens neurologically when you override that urge to stay in bed. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for executive function and long-term planning, wins a small victory over your limbic system, the ancient region that craves immediate comfort. Each time the prefrontal cortex wins, the neural pathway strengthens. You are literally building discipline architecture in your brain, one morning at a time. The reverse is also true. Each time the limbic system wins, that pathway strengthens instead. You become better at giving in, more efficient at surrendering. The snooze button is a repetition, and repetition creates identity. Dr. Wendy Wood, a behavioral scientist at the University of Southern California, spent 3 decades studying habit formation. Her research concluded that approximately 40% of our daily actions are habitual, performed without conscious thought. This means almost half of your day runs on autopilot. And the autopilot settings are programmed by repetition. When you repeatedly snooze, you program the autopilot to default toward comfort. When you repeatedly rise, you program it toward action. You are not choosing whether to be disciplined. You are choosing what your default will be. And defaults determine destiny. Now let me give you a practical protocol. Not theory, application. Tonight, before you sleep, place your phone or alarm clock across the room. Not on your nightstand. Not within arm's reach. Far enough that you must physically stand to turn it off. This is environmental design. You are engineering your morning so that the path of least resistance leads toward waking, not sleeping. When that alarm sounds tomorrow, you have exactly 5 seconds. 5 seconds to plant your feet on the floor before your brain starts generating excuses. The excuses will come. They always do. But they require time to form. If you move within 5 seconds, you outrun them. You win before the negotiation even begins. This is what author Mel Robbins calls the 5-second rule, though special operations units have practiced variations of this for decades. The principle is simple. Action precedes motivation. You do not wait to feel like getting up. You get up, and then the feeling follows. Emotion is slower than motion. Use that to your advantage. For the next 7 days, I want you to track your mornings. Not with an app, with a single piece of paper next to your bed. Each morning, write one of 2 words. Victory or defeat. That is it. No explanations. No justifications. Just the truth. At the end of 7 days, count your results. If you have fewer than 5 victories, you have work to do. If you have 7, you are ready to build on this foundation. Either way, you will have data. And data does not lie. Remember, this is not about becoming a morning person. This is not about hustle culture or grinding yourself into exhaustion. This is about one thing only. Can you trust your own word? When you tell yourself you will do something, does it happen? The snooze button is the daily exam, and you have been failing it for too long. Your weaker self has won this battle hundreds of times, maybe thousands. That streak ends now. Tomorrow morning is not a day. It is a decision point. The first decision point in a chain that will either rebuild your self-respect or continue eroding it. In the next chapter, we will expose the biggest lie you have ever been told about success. You have been taught that motivation is the answer, that if you just felt inspired enough, you would finally change. This belief has cost you years. It is time to destroy it. The lie of motivation dies next. Chapter 3: The Lie of Motivation. You have been chasing the wrong drug. For years, you have waited for motivation to arrive like some kind of rescue party. You have scrolled through Instagram quotes at midnight, hoping something would spark inside you. You have bookmarked videos promising to change your life. You have told yourself that when you finally feel inspired, really inspired, you will take action. You will start the business. You will get in shape. You will become the person you know you could be. Here is the brutal truth. Motivation is not coming to save you. It never was. Motivation is a liar. It shows up at 2 in the morning when you cannot act on it. It floods your brain during a movie scene about someone else's success. It arrives in waves of inspiration that crash and retreat before you accomplish anything. Then it disappears for weeks, leaving you exactly where you started, wondering what is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Everything is wrong with your strategy. The most successful people on this planet do not operate on motivation. They operate on identity. They do not wake up and ask themselves how they feel about going to the gym. They wake up and go because that is who they are. The action is not a choice. It is a consequence of self-concept. This distinction changes everything. A 2018 study from the University of Pennsylvania examined why New Year's resolutions fail at such staggering rates. Researchers tracked over 200 participants who made fitness-related commitments on January 1st. By February, 80% had abandoned their goals. But here is what made the study remarkable. The researchers did not just track failure. They tracked the small percentage who succeeded. What separated the 8% who maintained their habits from the 92% who quit? It was not willpower. It was not access to better gyms. It was not even accountability partners. The difference was linguistic. The successful group described their behavior in identity terms. They said things like, "I am a person who exercises rather than I am trying to exercise more." The failing group used aspirational language. "I want to be fit. I am hoping to work out regularly. I should go to the gym more often." Want, hope, should. These words reveal a fundamental disconnection between the speaker and the behavior. When you say you want something, you are admitting you do not have it. When you say you are trying, you are preparing an excuse for failure. But when you say "I am," you leave no room for negotiation. You have declared an identity, and identities defend themselves. This is the mechanism most people never understand. Your brain is constantly working to maintain consistency between your actions and your self-image. Psychologists call this cognitive consistency. When a behavior conflicts with identity, one of them has to change. Either you stop the behavior or you update the identity. Most people quit the behavior because their identity never shifted in the first place. Think about someone you know who seems effortlessly disciplined. Maybe they wake up early without struggle. Maybe they never miss workouts. Maybe they eat clean without constant internal battles. You have probably assumed they have some gift you lack, some superior willpower gene, some advantage you were not born with. You are wrong. What they have is an identity that makes discipline automatic. They are not resisting temptation with heroic effort. They do not even see it as temptation. A vegetarian does not struggle to avoid steak. It simply is not food to them. Their identity removes the decision entirely. This is where you need to arrive. Not through motivation, through repetition that rewrites self-concept. Every action you take is a vote for the person you are becoming. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, popularized this concept, but the science behind it goes back decades. Each time you complete a workout, you cast a vote for being an athlete. Each time you write a page, you cast a vote for being a writer. Each time you wake at your alarm, you cast a vote for being disciplined. No single vote determines the election, but enough votes in the same direction and a new identity wins. The problem is that you have been casting votes for your weaker self without realizing it. Every snooze button, every skipped session, every "I will start Monday," these are not neutral events. They are ballots, and they have been electing the same person into office year after year. Average people wait to feel motivated before acting. Elite performers act until they feel motivated. The sequence is reversed. Motion creates emotion, not the other way around. You do not find energy and then exercise. You exercise and then find energy. You do not wait for confidence and then perform. You perform until confidence is forced to arrive. Dr. Richard Wiseman, a psychologist at the University of Hertfordshire, conducted experiments on this principle throughout the early 2000s. His research on the as-if principle demonstrated that behaving as if you already possess a quality accelerates actual acquisition of that quality. Subjects who were instructed to act confident reported feeling genuinely more confident within days. Those who acted motivated found real motivation emerging. The body leads, and the mind follows. This means your entire approach has been backwards. You have been sitting in your room waiting to feel like a different person before you start acting like one. But the feeling comes after the action. Always. Waiting for motivation is like waiting to feel dry before you get out of the rain. You have the sequence inverted. So here is your new protocol. Stop asking yourself how you feel about doing something. Start asking yourself who you are becoming by doing or not doing it. Reframe every decision as an identity vote. When the alarm sounds, the question is not, do I feel like getting up? The question is, what kind of person do I want to become, and what would that person do right now? When you frame choices this way, motivation becomes irrelevant. You are no longer dependent on a fleeting emotion. You are building from a stable foundation of self-concept. And self-concept, once established, generates behavior automatically. The lie of motivation has cost you years. Years of starting and stopping. Years of waiting for the right feeling that never came at the right time. Years of believing that successful people have something you do not. They do have something you do not. They have an identity aligned with their goals. And now you know how to build one. But identity alone is not enough. There is another trap waiting for you. The trap of blame. The comfortable story that your circumstances are responsible for your results. In the next chapter, we will destroy that story completely. We will talk about radical ownership, the mindset that separates victims from victors. And once you adopt it, excuses will become impossible. No one is coming to save you. It is time to accept that truth. Chapter 4: Radical Ownership. Everything is your fault. Read that again. Let it sink past the defenses you have built, past the stories you tell yourself, past the comfortable explanations for why your life looks the way it does. Everything that has happened to you, everything you have failed to achieve, everything you wish were different, it is your fault. And until you accept this completely, nothing will change. This is not cruelty. This is liberation. Most people spend their entire lives constructing elaborate explanations for their mediocrity. The economy is bad. My parents did not support me. I did not have the right connections. I grew up in the wrong neighborhood. My boss does not recognize my talent. I do not have enough time. The excuses are endless, and they all share one thing in common. They place responsibility somewhere outside the self. Here is the problem with external blame. It feels good in the moment, but it strips you of power permanently. When you blame your circumstances, you are saying that circumstances control your life. When you blame other people, you are saying that other people determine your future. You have handed the keys to your existence over to forces outside your control. And then you wonder why you feel helpless. Jocko Willink, a retired Navy SEAL commander who led Task Unit Bruiser in the Battle of Ramadi, built his entire leadership philosophy around 2 words: extreme ownership. In combat, when things go wrong, the average leader looks for someone to blame. The equipment failed. Intelligence was bad. The team did not execute. But Willink discovered something counterintuitive in the most high-stakes environment imaginable. The leaders who took complete responsibility, even for things that seemed outside their control, were the ones whose teams performed at the highest level. Why? Because ownership creates agency. When you own a problem, you can solve it. When you blame a problem on external factors, you are powerless. The enemy is out there somewhere, and you cannot reach it. This principle does not just apply to combat. It applies to every area of your life. In 1966, psychologist Julian Rotter introduced the concept of locus of control. His research at the University of Connecticut showed that people generally fall into 2 categories. Those with an internal locus of control believe they are responsible for their outcomes. Those with an external locus believe that fate, luck, or other people determine their results. Over the following decades, hundreds of studies confirmed a consistent pattern. People with internal locus of control earned more money, reported higher life satisfaction, achieved more of their goals, and recovered faster from setbacks. The data is overwhelming. Believing you are in control makes you more successful. Not because it changes external reality, because it changes how you respond to external reality. Average people experience a setback and ask, why did this happen to me? Elite performers experience the same setback and ask, what did I do to contribute to this? And what can I do differently next time? The first question creates a victim. The second question creates a student. Victims repeat their mistakes forever. Students evolve. Let me be direct with you. Right now, there is something in your life you are blaming on circumstances. A goal you have not achieved. A relationship that failed. A career that stalled. And you have a story about why it is not your fault. That story is comfortable. It protects your ego. It allows you to sleep at night without confronting hard truths. That story is also a prison. As long as you hold on to that narrative, you cannot change the outcome. Because in your mind, the outcome was never in your hands. You were a passive recipient of bad luck, not an active agent who made choices that led to consequences. Here is the radical shift I am asking you to make. Even when something is not technically your fault, act as if it were. Did your business partner betray you? Ask yourself what signs you ignored. Did your company lay you off? Ask yourself what skills you failed to develop that would have made you indispensable. Did your relationship end? Ask yourself what patterns you repeated, what needs you failed to communicate, what work you avoided doing on yourself. This is not about guilt. Guilt is useless. This is about power. When you own your role in every outcome, you reclaim control over future outcomes. You stop being a leaf blown by wind and start being the wind itself. A 2020 study from Harvard Business School examined performance differences between employees who practiced radical accountability versus those who attributed failures to external factors. The accountability group received 37% more promotions over a 5-year period. They also reported feeling less stressed, despite taking on more responsibility. The researchers concluded that the psychological burden of blame actually exceeds the burden of ownership. Blaming others requires constant mental maintenance. Owning your outcomes, paradoxically, sets you free. Think about the most successful person you know. Not a celebrity, someone in your actual life. Someone whose results you admire. Now ask yourself this. Have you ever heard them blame their circumstances? Have you ever heard them explain away a failure by pointing at external factors? Likely not, because ownership is the operating system of achievement. People who take responsibility get results. People who make excuses get explanations. Average people protect their ego at the expense of their growth. Elite performers sacrifice ego for growth. They would rather feel uncomfortable and improve than feel comfortable and stagnate. This is a fundamental difference in values, and values determine behavior. So here is your practice for this chapter. Think of one failure in your life that you have blamed on something outside yourself. One thing you have told yourself was not your fault. Now take a piece of paper and write down every single way you contributed to that outcome. Not to punish yourself, to reclaim power, to shift from victim to owner. This exercise will feel uncomfortable. Your ego will resist. Your mind will generate counterarguments explaining why you really were not responsible. Notice those thoughts, then ignore them. Write anyway. When you finish, you will feel something unexpected. Not shame, relief. Because you will realize that if you cause the problem, you can cause a different outcome next time. You are not helpless. You never were. You were just telling yourself a story that made you feel that way. No one is coming to save you. Not the government. Not your family. Not luck. Not the universe. You are the only person who will ever care enough about your life to actually change it. And that is the best news you will ever receive. But ownership alone is not enough. You need systems. You need architecture that makes discipline automatic instead of effortful. In the next chapter, we will build that architecture. You will learn why goals are overrated, why environment design matters more than willpower, and how to construct a life where success becomes the path of least resistance. You have taken responsibility. Now it is time to engineer the machine. Chapter 5. The Architecture of Discipline. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. This single sentence, made famous by James Clear, contains more truth than entire libraries of self-help books. And yet most people ignore it completely. They set ambitious goals. They write them on vision boards. They announce them to friends. Then they return to the same environment, the same routines, the same triggers, and wonder why nothing changes. Goals are fantasies without systems. Systems are machinery that produces results regardless of mood, motivation, or circumstance. If you want to predict someone's future, do not ask about their goals. Everyone has goals. Ask about their systems. Ask about the daily architecture they have built. That will tell you everything. A 2015 study from MIT's Picard Institute for Learning and Memory examined habit formation at the neurological level. Researchers found that habits are not stored in the decision-making centers of the brain. They are stored in the basal ganglia, a region responsible for automatic behaviors. This means that once a behavior becomes habitual, it no longer requires willpower. It runs on a separate track entirely. The conscious mind can be tired, distracted, even resistant. The habit executes anyway. This is the architecture you need to build. Not motivation, not discipline through sheer force. Automatic systems that operate whether you feel like it or not. Average people rely on willpower to force behavior change. Elite performers design environments where the desired behavior requires less willpower than the alternative. This is the fundamental difference. One group fights against their nature constantly. The other group engineers their surroundings so that their nature works in their favor. Let me give you a concrete example. Say you want to read more books. The average approach is to set a goal. I will read 20 books this year. Then you place the book on a shelf, turn on Netflix, and wonder 3 months later why you have finished 0 books. Your goal was clear. Your system was non-existent. The elite approach looks different. You remove the television from your bedroom entirely. You place a book on your pillow every morning so it is the first thing you see at night. You delete streaming apps from your phone. You carry a book in your bag so that any moment of waiting becomes a moment of reading. You have not relied on willpower. You have restructured your environment so that reading is easier than not reading. This is what I mean by architecture. You are not building discipline. You are building a structure that makes discipline unnecessary. Dr. Wendy Wood at the University of Southern California conducted a landmark study in 2019 on the relationship between environment and behavior. She found that people who successfully maintained habits were not people with exceptional self-control. They were people who had designed their environments to reduce friction for good behaviors and increase friction for bad ones. Successful people are not more disciplined than you. They are better architects. Think about friction for a moment. Friction is anything that makes a behavior harder to execute. Every additional step, every extra decision, every obstacle between you and an action adds friction. And human beings are fundamentally lazy, not as an insult, as a biological fact. Our brains are wired to conserve energy. We will almost always choose the path of least resistance. So the question becomes simple. What path have you made easiest in your life? If your phone is on your nightstand, checking social media is effortless. If junk food is in your pantry, eating poorly requires no thought. If your gym clothes are buried in a drawer, working out demands extra steps. You have unintentionally designed an environment that makes failure easy and success hard. Then you blame yourself for lacking discipline. Here is the shift. Stop blaming yourself. Start blaming your architecture, and then rebuild it. I want you to conduct an environment audit. Walk through your living space and identify every friction point working against your goals. Where is your phone when you sleep? What is the first thing you see when you wake up? What foods are visible in your kitchen? Where are your workout clothes? What apps appear on your home screen? What browser tabs are saved? Every single detail either supports your new identity or sabotages it. There is no neutral ground. The Japanese have a concept called sundaku, which refers to acquiring books and letting them pile up unread. But they also have a counter concept embedded in their manufacturing philosophy. It is called pokayoke, meaning mistake-proofing. The idea is to design systems so that errors become nearly impossible. You do not rely on workers to be careful. You engineer the process so that carelessness cannot produce failure. Apply this to your life. Do not rely on yourself to be disciplined. Engineer your environment so that lack of discipline cannot produce failure. Average people set goals and hope for the best. Elite performers set goals, then design systems, then engineer environments, Then automate triggers until success becomes almost inevitable. Hope is not a strategy. Architecture is a strategy. Here is a protocol you can implement immediately. I call it the 2-minute runway. For any behavior you want to build, design your environment so that starting requires less than 2 minutes of preparation. Want to work out in the morning? Sleep in your gym clothes. Want to write every day? Leave your laptop open with a blank document on screen. Want to eat healthy? Prepare meals on Sunday and place them at eye level in the refrigerator. The runway to launch should be so short that your brain has no time to generate resistance. Conversely, for behaviors you want to eliminate, extend the runway. Want to stop scrolling social media? Delete the apps. If that is too extreme, log out after every session so that returning requires entering passwords. Move your phone to a different room. Each additional step buys your prefrontal cortex time to override the impulse. A 2022 study from the Wharton School of Business examined productivity differences among remote workers during the pandemic. The highest performers shared one common trait. They had dedicated workspaces, separate from relaxation areas, with minimal distractions visible. The lowest performers worked from beds and couches surrounded by entertainment options. Same people, same work, radically different outputs. The variable was environment. You have spent years fighting against yourself, fighting urges, fighting laziness, fighting distraction. What if you stopped fighting and started building? What if you recognize that every battle you win through willpower is a battle you have to fight again tomorrow? But every system you build is a battle already won. Your weaker self thrives in chaos. It thrives in environments designed for consumption, not creation. It thrives when the path to failure is short and the path to success is long. Change the architecture, and you starve your weaker self of oxygen. It cannot survive in a structure built for your strongest self. But architecture is only half the equation. You have the systems. Now you need the fuel. And that fuel does not come from big wins. It comes from small ones. Tiny victories that rebuild self-trust one decision at a time. In the next chapter, we will examine the power of small wins. You will learn why massive goals actually sabotage progress, why the smallest actions carry the most weight, and how to rebuild your self-respect from the ground up. The architecture is ready. Now it is time to lay the first bricks. Chapter 6: Small Wins, Massive Shifts. You do not need a breakthrough. You need a string of small victories so long that breakthrough becomes inevitable. This is the paradox most people never understand. They chase massive transformations. They want to lose 50 pounds in 3 months. They want to build a business that replaces their income by next quarter. They want dramatic, visible, impressive change. And in chasing the dramatic, they ignore the microscopic, the tiny daily actions that actually compound into extraordinary results. Here is what happens when you set massive goals without honoring small wins. You create a gap between where you are and where you want to be that feels impossible to cross. Every day, you wake up and measure yourself against a distant target. Every day, you fall short. Every day, that gap erodes your self-belief a little more. Eventually, the goal itself becomes a source of shame rather than motivation. So you abandon it. You tell yourself you will try again later. And the cycle repeats. The elite do something different. They set the same ambitious targets, but they measure progress differently. They do not ask, did I reach my goal today? They ask, did I cast a vote for the person I am becoming today? And a vote can be remarkably small. Dr. B.J. Fogg, founder of the Behavior Design Lab at Stanford University, spent over 20 years studying how humans actually change. His research led to a counterintuitive conclusion. The size of a new behavior matters far less than its consistency. A person who does 2 push-ups every single day will build a stronger exercise habit than someone who does 50 push-ups once a week. The repetition wires the behavior into identity. The magnitude can increase later, but the wiring has to happen first. This is why small wins are not stepping stones to real progress. Small wins are real progress. They are the fundamental unit of transformation. Teresa Amabile, a professor at Harvard Business School, conducted one of the most comprehensive studies ever performed on workplace motivation. She collected nearly 12,000 diary entries from professionals across 7 companies. tracking what made them feel engaged, productive, and satisfied. The number one factor was not recognition. It was not compensation. It was not even meaningful work in the abstract sense. It was the sense of making progress, even minor progress, on something that mattered. Amabel called this the progress principle. Human beings are wired to feel motivated by forward movement, not arrival, movement. When you complete a small task aligned with your values, your brain releases dopamine. That dopamine reinforces the behavior. It makes you want to repeat it. Small wins create a neurochemical feedback loop that builds momentum automatically. But here's the part most people miss. The inverse is also true. Small losses create a negative feedback loop. Every time you break a small promise to yourself, every time you skip what you said you would do, you release a different cocktail of chemicals. Cortisol, stress hormones, signals that say you cannot be trusted. And those signals accumulate. Think about the last time you felt genuinely confident. Not arrogant, confident. That feeling did not come from a single achievement. It came from a pattern, a track record of doing what you said you would do. Self-respect is not granted. It is earned. And it is earned in tiny increments, through promises kept when no one was watching. Average people think self-respect comes from achieving big goals. Elite performers know self-respect comes from honoring small commitments. The big goals are a consequence of self-respect, not a cause of it. This is why I am asking you to shrink your focus, not your ambition. Your focus. Stop measuring yourself against the end destination. Start measuring yourself against today's single action. Did you do the thing you said you would do? Yes or no? That is the only metric that matters right now. Carl Weick, an organizational theorist at the University of Michigan, wrote a seminal paper in 1984 called Small Wins, Redefining the Scale of Social Problems. His argument was simple but radical. Large problems feel overwhelming and create paralysis. But when you reframe a large problem as a series of small, achievable wins, you create momentum and reduce anxiety. The problem has not changed. Your psychological relationship to the problem has changed. And that changes everything. You have been thinking about your transformation as a mountain to climb. No wonder you feel exhausted before you start. Reframe it. It is not a mountain. It is a staircase. And you only need to see the next step. Then the next. Then the next. The summit takes care of itself. Here is a practical application. Whatever goal you are working toward, I want you to identify the smallest possible action that moves you forward. Not the ideal action. Not the impressive action. The smallest. If your goal is to write a book, the smallest action might be writing one sentence. If your goal is to get fit, the smallest action might be putting on your running shoes. If your goal is to build a business, the smallest action might be sending one email. Now do that small action every single day for 30 days. No exceptions, no negotiations. The action itself is almost irrelevant. What matters is the streak. What matters is proving to yourself that when you say you will do something, it happens. You are rebuilding a broken trust account, and the deposits must be small enough that you never miss one. A 2017 study published in the European Journal of Social Psychology tracked habit formation across 96 participants. The researchers found that missing a single day had minimal impact on long-term habit development. But missing 2 consecutive days dramatically increased the likelihood of complete abandonment. This is why the smallness of your commitment matters. It must be so small that life cannot interrupt it. Sick? You can still do 2 push-ups. Traveling? You can still write 1 sentence. Exhausted? You can still put on your running shoes and stand outside for 60 seconds. The goal is not to impress anyone. The goal is to never break the chain. Because every unbroken link deposits trust into your self-respect account. And when that account is full, discipline stops feeling like effort. It feels like identity. Average people dismiss small actions as meaningless. They want the big gesture, the dramatic transformation, the before and after photo. Elite performers understand that the photo is just evidence. The real transformation happened in 1,000 invisible moments. 1,000 small choices, 1,000 private victories no one will ever see or celebrate. Your weaker self wants you to think big and act never. It wants you to stay trapped in the planning phase, where ambition feels productive but produces nothing. Your stronger self thinks small and acts always. It knows that motion matters more than magnitude, that a small step taken beats a giant leap imagined. So stop waiting for the perfect moment to make a big move. Make a small move right now, then make another one tomorrow, then another. String enough small wins together, and you will look up one day to find that the person in the mirror is unrecognizable. Not because you achieved a single breakthrough, because you became someone who does not break promises to themselves. But there is one more piece to this puzzle. One trap that sabotages even those who understand everything I have shared so far. It is the trap of announcement. The trap of telling people your plans before you execute them. In the next chapter, we will examine why silence is power, why the most dangerous thing you can do is share your goals, and why winning in silence is the ultimate form of discipline. Keep your mouth shut. Let your results make the noise. Chapter 7: The Silence Protocol. The most dangerous thing you can do with a goal is talk about it. This sounds wrong. Everything you have been taught says otherwise. Share your dreams. Find accountability partners. Tell people so they can support you. Announce your intentions to make them real. This advice is everywhere. It is also destroying your ability to execute. Here is what actually happens when you tell someone your goal. You say, I am going to start a business, or I am going to get in shape, or I am going to write a book. The other person responds positively. They say, that is amazing. I believe in you. You are going to crush it. And in that moment, something shifts in your brain. You feel a small rush of satisfaction, a sense of accomplishment, a taste of the pride you would feel if you actually achieved the thing. But you have not achieved anything. You have only announced an intention, and your brain cannot tell the difference. This is not speculation. This is neuroscience. In 2009, Peter Gollwitzer, a psychology professor at New York University, published a landmark study on what he called identity-related behavioral intentions. He conducted 4 separate experiments with a total of 163 participants. The results were consistent and disturbing. People who announced their goals to others were significantly less likely to follow through than those who kept their intentions private. The mechanism is dopamine hijacking. When you share a goal and receive social acknowledgement, your brain releases dopamine as if you have made progress. But you have not made progress. You have made noise. The reward that should come after achievement comes before it instead. And once the reward has been collected, the drive to actually do the work diminishes. You have already felt the satisfaction. Why chase it again through effort? Average people announce goals and collect premature praise. Elite performers stay silent and collect actual results. This is not about being secretive or antisocial. This is about understanding how your own psychology works and refusing to sabotage yourself. Think about the last time you told someone about a big plan. Maybe it was a fitness goal, maybe a career move, maybe a creative project. Remember how good it felt to say the words out loud. Remember the validation in their eyes. Now ask yourself honestly, did that announcement increase or decrease your likelihood of following through? For most people, the answer is uncomfortable. The announcement felt like action. It substituted for action. The goal joined a graveyard of other announced intentions that never became reality. There is a second mechanism at work here beyond dopamine. It is called social reality. When you tell people about your goals, you create a public identity around those goals. You become the person who is starting a business, the person who is getting fit, the person who is writing a book, and that public identity feels real, even if you have done nothing to earn it. Derek Sivers, entrepreneur and founder of CD Baby, gave a famous TED Talk on this phenomenon. He explained that telling someone your goal creates what psychologists call a social reality. Your mind is tricked into feeling that the goal is already part of who you are. The gap between intention and achievement narrows in your perception, even though nothing has changed in actual reality. So you relax. You lose urgency. The fire dims. This is why the most dangerous phase of any goal is the beginning. The moment you feel excited about a new direction, your instinct is to share that excitement, to tell friends, to post on social media, to announce to the world that you are changing. That instinct will kill your goal before it has a chance to breathe. Here's the protocol. When you set a new goal, tell no one. Not your friends, not your family, not your social media followers. Keep it completely private for a minimum of 30 days. During those 30 days, focus entirely on action, on building evidence, on creating facts on the ground that cannot be disputed. Only after you have established a track record, only after you have proven to yourself that this is real, should you consider sharing. And even then, share results, not intentions. Do not say I am trying to get fit. Say I have worked out every day for 30 days. Do not say I am starting a business. Say I made my first sale. Let your actions speak. Let your results make the noise. A 2019 study from the University of California examined goal achievement rates across 3 groups. The first group announced their goals publicly on social media. The second group told only close friends and family. The third group kept their goals entirely private. After 90 days, the researchers measured follow-through rates. The public announcement group had the lowest completion rate at 23%. The close friends group performed slightly better at 31%. The private group achieved their goals at a rate of 47%. Silence nearly doubled the probability of success. Average people seek validation before they have earned it. Elite performers seek results and let validation come as a byproduct. This is a fundamental difference in orientation. One group optimizes for feeling good. The other group optimizes for being good. And over time, these orientations produce radically different lives. There is also a strategic advantage to silence that goes beyond psychology. When you operate quietly, you eliminate external pressure. No one is watching. No one is asking for updates. No one is judging your pace. You are free to fail privately, adjust privately, and try again privately. Failure in public creates shame. Failure in private creates data. And data is how you improve. Furthermore, silence creates surprise. When you finally reveal what you have been building, the impact is magnified. People respect results that appear suddenly, as if from nowhere. They are impressed by the gap between what they knew and what you accomplished. But if they watched every step of your struggle, if they heard every plan and saw every setback, the final achievement feels smaller. You have diluted its power through overexposure. The samurai had a concept called Fudoshin, which translates roughly to a movable mind. It referred to a state of complete inner stability, unaffected by external circumstances or opinions. A warrior with Fudoshin did not seek approval before battle. He did not announce his strategy to enemies or allies. He moved in silence, struck with precision, and let his actions define his reputation. You are in a battle for your own transformation. Adopt the same posture. Here is your practice. For the next 30 days, implement a complete silence protocol on your primary goal. Do not mention it in conversation. Do not post about it. Do not hint at it. When people ask what you have been up to, say nothing special. Redirect. Deflect. Protect your intention from the dopamine thieves who would steal your motivation through premature praise. At the end of 30 days, evaluate. Look at your progress. Look at your consistency. Compare it to previous attempts when you announced early. The difference will speak for itself. Your weaker self loves to talk. It loves the feeling of being seen as ambitious, as driven, as someone with big plans. It will tell you that sharing creates accountability, that you need support, that isolation is unhealthy. Do not listen. Your weaker self is trying to steal your future satisfaction and spend it today on empty words. Win in silence. Let your results be the only announcement that matters. But silence with the world means nothing if you are still lying to yourself. In the next chapter, we will confront the hardest conversation you will ever have. The conversation in the mirror. The one where you stop pretending and face exactly who you have been. This is the mirror test. And most people fail it because they are too afraid to look. It is time to look. Chapter 8. The Mirror Test. You have been lying to yourself for years. Not maliciously, not even consciously, but the lies are there, woven so deeply into your identity that you no longer recognize them as lies. You have constructed a narrative about who you are, why your life looks the way it does, and what you are capable of becoming. And most of that narrative is fiction designed to protect your ego from uncomfortable truths. This chapter is about ending the fiction. It is about standing in front of the mirror, not the physical one, but the psychological one, and seeing clearly for the first time. Most people will never do this. They will live their entire lives inside a comfortable delusion, wondering why reality never matches their self-image. You do not have to be most people. The mirror test is simple to describe and brutal to execute. You look at your life, your actual life, not the story you tell about it, and you ask one question. What does the evidence say about who I am? Not who you think you are, not who you want to be, not who you tell others you are. What do your actions, your habits, your results, your relationships, your bank account, your body, your daily choices actually reveal about your character? The evidence does not lie. The evidence cannot be spun or rationalized. It simply is. Dr. Tasha Eurich, an organizational psychologist and researcher, spent 4 years studying self-awareness across thousands of participants. Her findings, published in 2018, revealed something disturbing. 95% of people believe they are self-aware. Only 10 to 15% actually are. This gap is not small. It is catastrophic. It means that the vast majority of people are operating on a fundamentally inaccurate understanding of themselves. They think they know who they are. They are wrong. Eurich identified 2 types of self-awareness. Internal self-awareness is understanding your own values, passions, reactions, and impact on others. External self-awareness is understanding how others perceive you. Most people score low on both. They overestimate their strengths, underestimate their weaknesses, and remain blind to the patterns that sabotage them repeatedly. This is why you keep making the same mistakes. Not because you lack information, because you lack accurate self-perception. You cannot fix what you cannot see, and you have trained yourself not to see. The human brain is a rationalization machine. Its primary function is not truth-seeking. It is ego protection. When you behave in ways that conflict with your self-image, your brain does not update the self-image. It rewrites the behavior. It generates explanations. It softens edges. It blames circumstances. Anything to preserve the comfortable story of who you believe yourself to be. A 2010 study from the University of London examined how people respond to evidence that contradicts their self-beliefs. Researchers found that the brain literally filters out disconfirming information. Neural activity decreased when participants were shown data that challenged their self-concept. The brain does not just ignore inconvenient truths. It actively suppresses them. You are neurologically wired for self-deception. Average people accept this wiring as fixed. Elite performers override it deliberately. They create systems for honest feedback. They seek out information that challenges their assumptions. They treat ego death as a necessary cost of growth. This is not masochism. It is strategic, because the pain of honest self-assessment today prevents the catastrophe of delusional living tomorrow. Here is the uncomfortable exercise. I want you to answer the following questions with brutal honesty. Not the answers that make you feel good. The true answers. What do you consistently avoid? Not occasionally. Consistently. What tasks, conversations, decisions, or actions do you find yourself postponing over and over? These avoidances reveal your real fears, and your fears reveal your limitations. What promises have you broken to yourself in the last 90 days? Every diet started and abandoned. Every workout skipped. Every project left unfinished. Every commitment to change that dissolved within weeks. Count them. The number is your integrity score, and most people's score is far lower than they would ever admit. If someone watched your daily actions without hearing your words, what would they conclude about your priorities? Not what you say matters, what you actually spend time on. Your calendar and your credit card statement tell the truth about your values. Everything else is marketing. What feedback have you dismissed or rationalized away? Think about the last time someone criticized you, even gently. What was your internal response? Did you consider it honestly? Or did you immediately construct a defense? The feedback you reject most quickly is often the feedback you most need to hear. These questions are mirrors, and most people cannot bear to look. The philosopher Soren Kierkegaard wrote that the most common form of despair is not being who you are. He understood something that modern psychology has confirmed. The gap between your true self and your performed self creates a low-grade psychological suffering that poisons everything. You feel it as anxiety, as restlessness, as the vague sense that something is wrong but you cannot name it. What is wrong is the lie. The constant performance. The exhausting maintenance of a false identity. Average people spend their energy maintaining the lie. Elite performers spend their energy closing the gap. They do the difficult work of aligning who they are with who they pretend to be. And paradoxically, this alignment creates more energy, not less. Authenticity is efficient. Deception is expensive. Here is a protocol for ongoing self-honesty. Every Sunday evening, spend 10 minutes with a journal answering 3 questions. What did I avoid this week and why? Where did my actions contradict my stated values? What uncomfortable truth am I currently resisting? Do not edit your answers. Do not soften them. Write with the understanding that no one will ever read this but you. This is not for performance. This is for perception. You are training your brain to tell yourself the truth. A 2015 study from Cornell University found that regular self-reflection, specifically written reflection, increased goal achievement rates by 42%. But the key variable was honesty. Participants who wrote self-congratulatory reflections showed no improvement. Only those who engaged in critical, honest self-assessment saw gains. Feeling good about yourself is not the goal. Seeing yourself clearly is the goal. Feeling good comes later when your actions align with your values. The mirror test is not a one-time event. It is a practice, a discipline. You must return to it regularly because self-deception is not a bug you fix once. It is an operating system that reasserts itself constantly. The moment you stop looking honestly, the comfortable lies creep back in. The narrative rebuilds. The gap between truth and fiction widens again. Your weaker self hates the mirror. It will do anything to avoid honest reflection. It will stay busy. It will seek distraction. It will tell you that self-criticism is unhealthy, that you should practice self-compassion instead. And self-compassion is important. But self-compassion without self-honesty is just another form of denial. True compassion includes the courage to see clearly and the commitment to change what needs changing. You cannot kill your weaker self if you refuse to look at it. You cannot transform what you will not acknowledge. The mirror test is the moment of reckoning. The moment you stop performing and start perceiving. The moment you decide that truth matters more than comfort. Look in the mirror. See what is actually there. Not the potential, not the plans, not the promises, the evidence, the patterns, the reality. Only from that place of radical honesty can real change begin. But honesty alone is not enough. You must also become someone who can withstand pressure. Someone who does not break when life pushes back. In the next chapter, we will examine the pressure principle. You will learn why comfort is the enemy of growth, why stress is a tool rather than a threat, and how to forge an identity that remains unshakable when everything around you trembles. The fire is coming. It is time to learn how to walk through it. Chapter 9. The Pressure Principle. Comfort is where dreams go to die. You have spent years optimizing for ease, choosing the path with less friction, avoiding situations that make you uncomfortable, surrounding yourself with people who validate rather than challenge. And every single one of those choices has made you weaker. This is not a judgment. It is biology. Your brain is designed to seek comfort and avoid pain. 10,000 years ago, this wiring kept you alive. It told you to conserve energy, avoid predators, stay with the tribe. But in the modern world, this same wiring is sabotaging your potential because everything you want exists on the other side of discomfort, and you have trained yourself to retreat the moment discomfort appears. The people who transform their lives are not people who feel less fear. They are people who have learned to function inside fear. They do not wait for pressure to subside before they act. They act while the pressure is at its peak. And in doing so, they develop a capacity that comfortable people never will. The capacity to perform when it matters most. Dr. Kelly McGonigal, a health psychologist at Stanford University, spent years researching the relationship between stress and performance. Her 2015 findings challenged decades of conventional wisdom. She discovered that stress itself is not inherently harmful. What determines whether stress helps or hurts you is your belief about stress. Participants who viewed stress as enhancing, as a sign that their body was preparing for challenge, showed improved cardiovascular function, better cognitive performance, and faster recovery. Participants who viewed stress as debilitating experienced the opposite. Same stress, different belief, radically different outcomes. This means your relationship to pressure is a choice. You can continue seeing discomfort as a threat to be avoided, or you can reframe it as a signal that growth is available. The pressure has not changed. Your interpretation of it has. Average people run from pressure and wonder why they stay weak. Elite performers run toward pressure and harvest its benefits. This is not masochism. It is strategy. They understand that pressure is the forge where identity is shaped. Remove the heat, and the metal never hardens. Nassim Nicholas Taleb, the mathematician and philosopher, introduced a concept he called anti-fragility. Fragile things break under stress. Resilient things remain unchanged. But anti-fragile things actually get stronger when exposed to stress, volatility, and disorder. Your muscles are anti-fragile. They grow only when subjected to strain. Your bones are anti-fragile. They increase density under load. Your mind works the same way. It does not develop toughness through ease. It develops toughness through managed exposure to difficulty. The key word is managed. This is not about seeking catastrophic stress that overwhelms you. It is about systematically exposing yourself to challenges slightly beyond your current capacity, then recovering, then exposing yourself again to something slightly harder. This progressive overload, borrowed from strength training, applies directly to psychological resilience. Consider what happens when you avoid discomfort consistently. Your tolerance shrinks. Small challenges that should be manageable feel overwhelming. You become fragile. You require perfect conditions to function. And perfect conditions never exist in the real world. So you fail not because the obstacle was too great, but because your capacity had atrophied from disuse. A 2018 study from Yale University examined stress inoculation in high-performing professionals. Researchers found that individuals who had experienced moderate adversity earlier in life and had successfully navigated it showed superior performance under pressure compared to those who had experienced either no adversity or overwhelming adversity. The sweet spot was challenge without catastrophe, difficulty that stretched capacity without breaking it. These individuals had built what psychologists call stress inoculation. Their systems had learned that pressure is survivable, even useful. You cannot download this inoculation. You cannot read about it and acquire it. You must earn it through exposure, through deliberately placing yourself in uncomfortable situations, through choosing the harder path when the easier one is available, through proving to your nervous system again and again that discomfort will not destroy you. Here is what most people get wrong. They wait for high-stakes moments to practice performing under pressure. The job interview, the important presentation, the critical conversation. But you cannot develop a skill in the moment you need it most. You develop skills in practice, then deploy them in performance. If you never practice functioning under pressure, you will collapse when pressure arrives uninvited. The solution is to manufacture pressure deliberately, to create small crucibles in daily life where you must perform despite discomfort. Cold showers, hard conversations you have been avoiding, public speaking, physical challenges that push your limits, deadlines you set for yourself and refuse to break. Each of these is a training ground. Each builds the neural architecture of someone who does not flinch. Average people wait for life to impose pressure, then crumble. Elite performers impose pressure on themselves, build tolerance, then remain steady when life tests them. The difference is preparation, and preparation is a choice made long before the test arrives. There is a concept in military training called stress inoculation training, or SIT. Special operations units use it to prepare soldiers for combat conditions. The method is simple. Expose trainees to realistic stressors in controlled environments. Let them fail. Let them adapt. Gradually increase intensity. By the time they face actual combat, the stress response has been calibrated. Their bodies still react, but their minds remain functional. They have been there before in training. The real thing is just another repetition. You can apply this same principle to your life. Identify the situations where you typically crumble, the contexts where pressure hijacks your performance. Then create low-stakes simulations of those contexts. Practice functioning inside them. Build familiarity with the discomfort. When the high-stakes version arrives, your system will recognize it. This is just training, it will whisper. You have done this before. A 2021 study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology examined what researchers called challenge appraisal versus threat appraisal. When people viewed demanding situations as challenges, opportunities to demonstrate competence, they showed enhanced focus, better problem solving, and more persistent effort. When they viewed the same situations as threats, dangers to be survived, they showed impaired cognition, defensive behavior, and early withdrawal. The situation was identical. The frame determined the outcome. Your internal language matters. When pressure arrives, notice what you say to yourself. Is it "this is too hard," or "this is where I grow"? Is it "I cannot handle this," or "I was built for this"? The words are not trivial. They are instructions to your nervous system. They tell your body whether to mobilize for challenge or collapse into threat response. Here is your protocol. Every day for the next 30 days, do one thing that makes you uncomfortable. It does not have to be dramatic. Take a cold shower for 2 minutes. Strike up a conversation with a stranger. Speak up in a meeting when you would normally stay silent. Send the email you have been avoiding. Make the phone call that scares you. The specific action matters less than the consistency. You are training your system to associate discomfort with forward movement, not retreat. At the end of 30 days, you will notice something unexpected. The baseline of what feels uncomfortable will have shifted. Actions that once triggered anxiety will feel manageable. Your capacity will have expanded, not because the world changed, but because you did. Your weaker self worships comfort. It tells you that you deserve ease. That rest is more important than growth. That tomorrow will be a better time to face the hard thing. Do not listen. Comfort is a sedative. It feels good in the moment and leaves you weaker over time. The person you want to become is not waiting in comfort. That person is waiting on the other side of the pressure you keep avoiding. Pressure is not your enemy. Pressure is the architect of your strongest self. Stop running from it. Start running toward it. Let it shape you into someone who cannot be broken. You have now learned the principles. The Snooze Button Test. The lie of motivation. Radical ownership. The architecture of discipline. Small wins. The silence protocol. The mirror test. The pressure principle. These are not separate ideas. They are components of a single system. A blueprint for identity reconstruction. In the final chapter, we will integrate everything. You will receive the complete protocol for becoming someone new. The daily practices, the weekly reviews, the monthly assessments. A comprehensive operating system for killing your weaker self and building an identity that does not negotiate with comfort, does not break under pressure, and does not stop until the mission is complete. The blueprint is ready. It is time to build. Chapter 10, The New Blueprint. You have the knowledge. Now you need the system. Everything you have learned across these chapters means nothing if it stays theoretical. Information without implementation is entertainment. And you did not come here to be entertained. You came here to be transformed. So in this final chapter, I am giving you the complete blueprint. The daily practices, the weekly protocols, the monthly assessments. A fully integrated operating system for killing your weaker self and building an identity that cannot be defeated. Your new identity rests on 6 pillars. You have learned each one separately. Now see them as an integrated whole. Pillar 1. When the first battle. Every morning, the alarm sounds, and you have a choice. Snooze or rise. From this moment forward, you rise immediately. No exceptions. Your feet hit the floor within 5 seconds. This is non-negotiable. This is who you are now. Pillar 2. Identity over motivation. You no longer wait to feel inspired. You operate from self-concept. You ask, who am I becoming? Then act accordingly, regardless of emotion. The person I am becoming does the work whether they feel like it or not. Motion precedes emotion. Always. Pillar 3. Radical ownership. Nothing that happens to you is someone else's fault. Even when circumstances are unfair, you own your response. Blame is a luxury you can no longer afford. Every time you catch yourself pointing outward, you redirect inward. This ownership is not burden. It is power reclaimed. Pillar 4. Systems over goals. You have ambitious targets, but you measure yourself against your systems, not your goals. Did you execute the process today? Goals are for direction. Systems are for progress. Consistent execution of excellent systems produces excellent results. Pillar 5. Silence is strategy. You no longer announce your intentions. Your goals live in the dark, protected from the dopamine thieves who would steal your drive through premature praise. You work in silence. You let results make the noise. Pillar 6. Pressure is fuel. You no longer run from discomfort. Pressure is the forge that shapes identity into something unbreakable. You deliberately seek challenges that stretch your capacity. Your weaker self wanted ease. Your stronger self knows that ease produces nothing worth having. These 6 pillars are not separate practices. They are one integrated philosophy. Miss any single pillar, and the structure weakens. Honor all 6, and you become someone who cannot be stopped. Now let me give you the practical implementation. Every morning begins the same way. The alarm sounds. You rise immediately. Before you check your phone, you spend 10 minutes in reflection. You review your core identity statement, a single sentence that captures who you are becoming. You read it aloud. You visualize the person described in that statement moving through the day ahead. Your identity statement should follow a specific format. I am someone who followed by the core behavior that defines your transformation. I am someone who keeps promises to themselves. I am someone who acts before they feel ready. Choose the statement that addresses your deepest weakness. That is where the battle must be fought. After your morning reflection, you execute your non-negotiable action. One behavior, completed every single day without exception, that casts a vote for your new identity. It should take no more than 15 minutes. It should be challenging enough to require discipline, but small enough to be unbreakable. You are building a streak, and the streak builds self-trust. Every evening, you conduct a 2-minute audit. 3 questions in writing. Did I win the first battle this morning? Did I execute my non-negotiable action? Where did I negotiate with comfort today? The answers must be honest. You are collecting data on your own behavior. Over time, patterns will emerge. This data transforms vague feelings about growth into concrete evidence. Every week, you conduct a deeper review. Sunday evening works for most people. You examine the full 7 days. You count wins and losses. You identify situations where you performed well and where you faltered. Then you ask one question. What is the single biggest obstacle to my transformation right now? That obstacle becomes your focus for the coming week. Every month, you zoom out further. You compare who you are today to who you were 30 days ago. Not against your ultimate goal, against your past self. Are you keeping more promises to yourself? Are you more resistant to comfort? Are you functioning better under pressure? These are the metrics that matter. External achievements are lagging indicators. Identity shift is the leading indicator. A 2016 study from Dominican University of California examined goal achievement across 267 participants. People who wrote down their goals and conducted structured weekly self-review achieved 43% more than those who simply set goals mentally. The structure creates the result. Average people read books like this and feel temporarily inspired. They nod along, highlight passages, then return to the same patterns within a week. Elite performers treat this information as a mandate, not entertainment. They implement before the feeling fades. You now have everything you need. The philosophy, the daily practice, the weekly review, the monthly assessment, a complete system for identity transformation. But I must warn you, your weaker self is not dead yet. It is wounded, cornered, but still alive. There will be days when you fail, mornings when you hit snooze, moments when you announce a goal for cheap validation. These failures do not mean the system is broken. They mean you are human. Average people use failure as evidence that change is impossible. Elite performers use failure as data for calibration. When you fall, you do not spiral into shame. You observe what happened, identify the trigger, adjust the protocol, and return to execution. Failure is not the opposite of success. Quitting is the opposite of success. And you do not quit anymore. The person you were when you started this book is already fading. You have seen truths that cannot be unseen. You understand that motivation is a lie, that identity drives behavior, that ownership creates power, that silence protects progress, that pressure builds strength, that small wins compound into massive transformation. No one is coming to save you. No one will build this for you. There is only you standing in front of the mirror, deciding what kind of person you will be tomorrow. Your weaker self has held power for too long. That era ends now. Not tomorrow. Not next Monday. Now, kill your weaker self. Build the new identity. Execute the blueprint. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is freedom. Go earn it.